The new year is upon us, and while 2020 wasn't really the greatest year ever, it was a fantastic year for streamer gear specifically. Sure, you had scalpers buying up every last stock of everything they can and making millions off of it, but at the very least, companies have been productive and they've been making stuff that's really, really cool. You had the Shure putting new microphone, the MV7. You've had Elgato releasing the Wave microphones, as well as the HD60 4K S Plus. Elgato, you gotta work better in your naming. However, looking towards the future, 2021 looks to be a pretty good year too. Now, there are some things at the end of the video I'd like to go over about what I like to see from the streaming sphere, so to speak. However, looking towards 2021, I think things are going to look up, and you should too. So today, let's take a look at some streamer gear that I found on the internet and see what would be right for you, and see if we can get at least a last-minute Christmas gift in if you order pretty quickly. I'll also go over some of my thoughts about what I've thought about this year, and what I like to see from the streamer sphere and content creation sphere coming in the next few years, not just 2021. Let's get into it. All right, so I'll go over a bit of a list I have here with some items that I think be good for the Christmas season, as well as the new year if you get some gift cards or whatnot from your family members in your stocking and everything. So I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 items on my list here. They're all things I think would be fantastic for streamers coming up in the new year. Some prices have changed around since I had made this list literally yesterday, actually. So be aware that prices are going to change pretty significantly as time goes on, especially as we get closer to the end of the Christmas season where things start to level out a little bit more in terms of prices and demand. So the first thing to start off with, I guess you could say the most expensive, the TC-Helicon Go XLR. Now the Go XLR is really a fantastic little interface and mixer board and everything like that. It's fantastic. It's used by many streamers. It's almost become ubiquitous in that kind of space. However, because of its demand, prices are kind of bad for it. So this thing is going for, at least the best price I could find for this particular product is on Adorama for $500. Would I recommend you buy it right now for $500? No way in hell. It's literally the most expensive thing on this list I have seen so far at $500. However, if you really want to, if you can wait for it, and please just wait for it, its price should come down as soon as things start clearing up with COVID and demand starts to run off a little bit. But if you're looking for an audio interface with authentic Midas preamps, because I have an audio interface on hand already, and that's what I'm using right now. It's a Behringer U4 UMC22. Fantastic interface, does have Midas preamps, but is not quite the same thing as what you find on the Go XLR. So if you want those high quality preamps and analog to digital converters, these are fantastic. Just wait for the price to come down. Secondly, we have the Rode Procaster. Now, the Procaster is a very fantastic microphone. It's dynamic, it's broadcast quality, so you see people who do podcasts with these things. They're almost ubiquitous, like the Go XLR. These are ubiquitous, almost shot for shot in the podcasting scene. Although it is kind of expensive at $230, the price I could find it is on Sweetwater. If you've never shopped at Sweetwater, you better do it because they are fantastic. They have some of the best customer service I think I've ever had from any online retailer. And they send you a bag of candy with your package too, so you really can't go wrong with that. Literally, when I ordered my Behringer C1, they sent me a bag of candy along with my order. And you know what? That's how you keep customers, people. That's how you keep customers. You send them candy, you send them things. That's how you do it. But the Procaster is a fantastic dynamic microphone. Very warm, very accurate kind of sound quality with it. Although I'm kind of the guy who likes condenser microphones because the space that I do my stuff in isn't that noisy. I have carpet. I know these. Oh, even though it's starting to fall off the wall, unfortunately. Shoot. But I have sound foam behind me, even though it's not in front of me. That's gonna change, but like for condenser microphones, just for people who don't know, you want some of this stuff in front of you where you're speaking. It's behind me because I can mitigate it at least a little bit with audio filters and stuff of that sort. But you won't need that with a dynamic microphone, more or less like the Procaster. So if you have, so if you're recording or streaming in a very loud environment, but if you're streaming and recording in a loud environment, this kind of microphone is ideal for you and your workflow. But because I don't really record in a very overly loud environment, my computer's not that loud. My only one light with a fan on it isn't particularly loud. It's pretty far away behind an umbrella. It's not particularly loud in here, but noise does get through, and so if you have that kind of issue, dynamic microphone would be good for you. If you're looking on the condenser side of things, the Blue Yeti X is fantastic. Now, here's the difference between this one and the Rode Procaster are two main things. One, the Procaster is both XLR and dynamic. The Yeti X is USB and condenser. So the difference is that the way that the Procaster connects to your computer is through an ART interface and XLR, whereas the Yeti X can be plugged directly into a USB port on your PC. The Yeti is like the USB microphone. The Yeti X is even better with more finite controls on the microphone itself. So if you're looking for something that is kind of a middle road between, that upper echelon of USB microphones in terms of price and starting to get into XLR territory in terms of price and quality, the ADX is fantastic in my opinion. Best price I could find it right now is unforced Best Buy. Would I recommend you get everything from Best Buy? Probably not. There are 2 other items on this list that I have found on Best Buy with the best price, but again, prices are going to change, and I would keep an eye on things. But the Yeti X is fantastic. I used to have a Yeti Blackout, although I didn't use it a whole ton, so I ended up giving it to a friend who could put better use of it than I could, because I have this nice, lovely C1 that's actually doing me much good right now anyway. So yeah, USB microphones, fantastic price, fantastic quality for the Yeti X. Next up is the Elgato Stream Deck. Now this is also another problem spot when it comes to price and demand. This is being price gouged the hell out of this thing already. This one's found on Walmart, $260. This is another item that I'm going to say wait till the price comes down. But if you're looking or get Touch Portal, like seriously, if Touch Portal is $10, it's an app, so you don't have there's no issue with demand and supply. You just download the app, pay $10, and you get a Stream Deck on your phone that can do some things that the Elgato Stream Deck cannot do. But if you really want the look of a Stream Deck on your setup, wait till the price comes down. I wouldn't recommend paying $260 for the base model of Stream Deck. That's really more like $100 to $150 in my opinion. Maybe even less. Really, I mean, it's not. I really don't think it's really worth that. But this is also another item that's also going to arrive after Christmas. So if you have the money to spend with gift cards or whatnot, or whatever you get from your family, this is a good thing to wait for. For webcams, alright, it seems like the Best Buy's website is not working quite right today. But the webcam I was going to show you is the Logitech C920S. This is an updated version of the C920, which is good because it hasn't had an update since it came out. Really, the only difference I've seen on the surface of the C920S is that it has this hood that closes the lens so people don't peer in on you. It's really the only difference. For $89, that's really not a bad price. It's more expensive than the original one, but if they managed to update it at least a little bit, I would probably place my money on saying they probably updated the quality of the webcam too. And having something newer and a little bit more easier to get along with probably would be better too. But it works with Chromebook is what it says on the thing. All right, sorry about that. I had to restart the recording on my webcam, or my camera. So yeah, if you want a webcam, the C920S is still a decent price. You will always do better with a DSLR camera mirrorless, but all the same, USB webcams are still decent or good for starter streamers, which is what I'm trying to say here. However, there's something I would like to throw in here when it comes to high-end cameras for YouTube work, and that is the Nikon Z50. If you want, now the Nikon Z50 is kind of expensive. However, this is a fantastic camera from what I've heard of it. The sensor could be a little better. It does not do quite as well in low light, but in my experience, and I'm recording this on a Nikon D3400, the stock lens on this thing is so good in my opinion. But I will shout from the rooftops of how good Nikon actually is. Like, Nikon, in my opinion, is very underrated. And if you're looking for a kind of a mid-range, but also 4K capable mirrorless camera, the Z50 is fantastic. I really think Nikons are really just. I'm trying to say they're really underrated. I'm gonna go on a blabber here, but whenever I get a chance around to doing it, I will certainly buy this camera. But there's also a story related to this camera that I'll be telling you a little later. So please stay tuned for that. Or just wait for that. I'll tell you about it later. But if you want a good mirrorless camera that also has a flip-down screen, by the way, it's flipped down, so make sure it's compatible with your tripod as well. Fantastic camera, a little expensive, but mirrorless cameras aren't exactly the cheapest thing in the world either. And Sony and Fujifilm and Canon and Panasonic have offerings in the mirrorless realm, but I don't really think they work as well as Nikon's do. Just my personal opinion, but hey, whatever that. Okay, so back to the main stuff at hand. Another microphone that I found is the HyperX Quadcast. Fantastic USB microphone. It is not exactly as ubiquitous as the Yeti is, but it has much of the same features, as well as an internal pop filter, which the Yeti does not have. So if you want to buy the Yeti, you're going to need a separate pop filter. If you might have noticed on streams, I have this pop filter on here. This one works. This is the one that came with the microphone, and it works just fine. But it doesn't. It's not perfect, and it really the pop filter. Kind of a basic rundown of pop filters. If you want to get a pop filter, make sure you get one that suits the needs of your microphone specifically, and rather than your voice, because the microphone can pick up different microphones pick up different frequencies at different varying levels of quality. And this one works just fine for me because it fits nice and snug on the top of the microphone. However, your mileage may vary. But the HyperX Quadcast, back to this, it comes with an internal pop filter, a shock mount integrated into it, as well as a gain knob on the bottom. It also sounds pretty good too. It is a little pricey right now, but the best price I could find it as of recording this on Adorama for $150. Not exactly cheap, but if you're what you're getting with it, I think is well worth the money. Just I would wait a little bit until the price comes down a teeny bit. This is also on back order too. A lot of stuff here is going to be back on back order here because COVID is not really not making things easy for people to get things out. But all the same, wait for the price to come down if you can. If you can't, and you want to put on back order as soon as possible, you can do it. As for capture cards, and I have 3 here. Well, 2. The other one's actually a microphone. The Elgato Game Capture 4K 60S Plus. Now, this is not exactly the most highly sought after capture card, even still. But this will come in literally the day before Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, if you buy it today. So it's got an HEVC encoder, which means you can encode in a high efficiency video codec, up to 4K 60. That is fantastic. I love that, and I wanted to get one of these, but the problem with me specifically is I don't really do a whole lot of capturing anymore, at least on capture cards. I don't play as much console as I used to. Like literally, I still have an HD 60, like an older version of it, like the USB 2 version of it. Not exactly the best capture card in the world, at least by today's standards, but it gets the job done whenever I need it to. But the 4K 60S Plus, fantastic capture card. I know I've also had kind of gripes in the past with Elgato, but in recent months, and I do mean recent months, the situation has certainly improved with it. About last year, I would have several problems with my capture cards. The Elgato ones just not picking up the signal or just conking out on me at random times and not really cooperating. And I would have omitted every Elgato product from this list if I wanted to. But seeing how much improvement they've made on the driver's side when it comes to their products, more than makes up for it. So I'm more than happy to recommend their products because they are otherwise fantastic products, and I really can't deny that, even if I do hate their drivers, at least previously. So if you want a good capture card, I know it's rated 2 stars. you really need that HEVC encoder if you want to get that high quality captures. It is kind of expensive. It is the second most expensive product on the list right here at $400. But I think if you wait for the price to come down again for this one too, well worth the price. If you are on a budget, and I'm really mean on a budget, when it comes to 4K capture utilities, the 4K 60 Pro Mark II is fantastic. I found the cheapest price I could find today is on Micro Center at $236.99. Fantastic PCIe capture card. The reason why you would want a PCIe capture card is because PCIe has a higher bandwidth limit and higher bandwidth capability compared to USB. So if you're capturing a lot of 4K content, having that PCI Express bandwidth is critical to keeping frame rates high and dropped frames low. If you want to keep those frame rates high and capture dropped frames low, you would want a PCI card. It is a by 4 though, so just make sure that if you have other PCIe devices in your system, make sure you have the lanes to do it with. Otherwise, you'll have some problems getting this thing running, or in some cases even booting the entire system altogether, because some motherboards don't allow systems to boot if all the PCIe lanes are filled and are exceeded. But Micro Center, I know, is not exactly the most convenient place to buy your tech. The best places to buy them are really from their stores. They only have a select few in certain places. Now, I have 2 within driving distance of me in Atlanta, but there are some people who do not live near one, and they have to buy it from the website. So if you can, I would buy it from the store, but buying from the website is still a good option too. Lastly, the Elgato Wave 3, also on Micro Center for $145. It is the cheapest microphone here. Yes, it is the cheapest microphone here. I have a list here at $145.99. It is discounted on Micro Center, which is why I picked it. But if you want a literally the best of USB microphones I think I've ever personally heard, the Wave is killer. Fantastic USB microphone with Go XLR functionality built into its software. This thing is a beast. Although, if you want to buy it, you should be buying it soon, because it does ship in 5 to 7 business days, as they list on their website. But it is a fantastic microphone. It really puts a lot of XLR microphones to shame. Like, it puts this one to shame. Like, I like my Behringer C1, and I love this thing to heaven and back. But if I were to pick if I wanted to make a USB microphone, I'd be the Wave 3. I would be the Wave 3, and it's not even the lowest model either. But that's kind of like my list for it's gonna like my list for stuff that you can buy now, or hopefully really soon, or after the new year and beyond. So, with that being said, let's get into the large rant at hand here. But that was a very, very long video. Unfortunately, it went a lot longer than I was hoping it would, but that's what happens when I get into a rant of a special topic that I like. So yeah, like I hope you've given some good holiday gifts ideas. I know it's a little late. It's already the 15th. We're still 10 days away from Christmas, so if you want to get something in, some retailers are still offering pretty quick shipping guarantees. Well, more like guarantees, but you know what I mean. So if you want to get stuff in, make sure you buy them now, and make sure that you get your Christmas gifts, or if you want to wait a little longer, get some of that big gift cards you got from Christmas, and spend on something that matters to you. But if you liked the video, consider giving it a like, and if you disliked it, well, the other one works too, I suppose. But hey, people's opinions. If you also like the video and would like to speak more with me on things, I stream on Twitch every Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm trying to keep it to 8 p.m., so keep me to it. But if you also like to talk with the bigger community at large, the Aspirating Empire, our Discord server, is a little quiet, but if you want a place to talk with some people who hopefully share some like-minded views, a link for that will be down below. Yeah, if you also enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on. So thank you for joining me this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.